I want you to share what you talked about with the shift that we've gone through, moving out of that phase that we were in for 7+ years, where opinion really was key, but there was no real action behind it. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, do you remember when fake news came out?
Yes,
What was
very
what year?
vividly.
Right, what year was that? That was like 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
16,
The first
17.
the first election with that. So 16. Yeah.
Right. So at that time, the planet Saturn was in the sign of Sagittarius.
Mm.
And the planet Saturn, gets a really bad rap because it can be restrictive. It can restructure your whole life in some ways. But it also is about discipline, and it represents like the father figure. Okay. It represents our ambitions in life and career and stuff like that. And in the sign of Sagittarius, it was the restriction of perception.
Mm.
Sagittarius is the sign of perception, and I perceive or I see is Sagittarius's key word. And we put Saturn there, that there is a restriction of perception through judgment. And any Sagittariuses out there, you guys do not like to feel judged.
My
That's
sister's
kind of
Sagittarius, so I can confirm that.
confirm it, right? That's kind of Sagittarius's medicine.
Yes.
And, now we're 7 years later or more into that, and Saturn is in the sign of Pisces.
Mm.
And so that's a 90-degree angle from Sagittarius. And 2023 is where we begin this tremendous amount of fog that we're in right now, where nobody has any clue what's going to happen. And in the last couple of weeks, everybody has been coming forward with a feeling that they don't have a destiny anymore and nothing matters in their life.
Oh,
And it's been pretty intense. And it is an end of a cycle with Saturn in Pisces before it goes into Aries next February. And about a month ago, everything in our lives cleared up a little bit. And we're like, oh, maybe there's this direction and maybe things are going to change a little bit. And we're going to have a insight of where we're headed. And we did a little bit, but then we went back into the fog about 2 weeks ago.
what's causing that? Just the end of the cycle?
No, that's our friend Saturn in Pisces, the end
Mm.
of the cycle, right? And Pisces is delusional, okay? And also the fear of what we cannot control.
Mm. That
Aren't we,
is so present right now. Oh my goodness.
yeah, aren't we afraid that we're not in control of anything?
Absolutely. That's like the basis of fear.
It's actually one of the three fears.
Mm.
Every water sign in the zodiac brings the fear. So Pisces is the fear of what we cannot control. Cancer is the fear of not having security. That's why very wealthy people sometimes can feel like they're going to have poverty no matter how
Mm.
much money's in their bank account. And then Scorpio is the fear of not having a deep connection with someone.
Mm.
So when Saturn goes through water signs, it's more emotional to really help us understand how we face these fears, to find the love inside of us, to trust what we care about and what we really love is Saturn in Pisces in a way, because we do call it the woe of all woes, the sorrow of all sorrows.
Mm.
And I have been telling people in the last 2 weeks that the world is over as you know it.
Which is a good thing.
It is, but not knowing what's it going to turn into is kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
But I think if we're going to talk about Saturn, and this is indicative of the US, and I'll bring that for sure, but the planet Neptune moves signs every 14 years. And the last time we went through a change of Neptune was 2012.
Mm.
And in 2012, we entered a period that began ramping up idealism on every level. You know, I think America's biggest problem is that people have to be right about things.
Absolutely. Crisis of certainty.
Right. And that makes them wrong or a bad, terrible person if they're not right about things.
Mm.
And our opinions have really become a problem because we can share opinions and notice that it's more about sharing opposing opinions. And that's what we just talked about as this information war between the restriction of perception through judgment
Mm.
and now this fear of what you cannot control. Okay, one side is going to destroy you, the other side will destroy you. Well, it's all being destroyed, everybody. Okay. And the deeper part of that would be bringing Pluto into the mix also, which is what brings us to America and the Pluto return, which is a 248-year cycle. How old is America? I think we're 248, aren't we?
That's it. So we were founded at the beginning of a Pluto cycle.
Well, every country that goes through this, okay, when they start their process, they go through a Pluto cycle. So whenever America was born, recently I was hanging out with my friend Tona from Mexico with the Toltecs, and we were talking about the cycle, and he was looking at Mexico because Mexico's older than the US.
Yeah.
And Mexico goes through what we're going through in 2069. And we started subtracting 248 from that number, and we looked it up, and it was all revolutions.
Oh, Lord.
Every 248-year cycle was a revolution,
Mm.
and so Rome fell on its third one of these.
Mm.
Rome lived for what, 700 and something, so 248, 248, 248. So, we have a lot of information historically, and we can go back and track the cycle of Pluto. And we usually describe the Pluto return like this. This is how I usually describe it. The Pluto return represents for a country a period of corruption on all levels,
Mm. That gives me chills.
right? Followed by a renaissance. And historically, every single time a country turns 248, it goes real bad.
Mm.
And then they experience a renaissance. In Europe, we call the Renaissance, right? We call that period the Renaissance because it was a Pluto return.
And it came
Okay.
after like the Inquisition and the witch trials and all that other.
Absolutely. If you watch the movie Mary, Queen of Scots, that's about Britain's first Pluto return.
Oh gosh, that I'm obsessed with that time period. So it's one of the bloodiest time periods that I've ever read about. And it was brother versus brother and sister versus sister.
Right.
There was no loyalty or allegiance, and nobody trusted anybody.
It was horrible. Yeah. So that's where we are. Okay. And, America and the war machine, of course, goes to war every time Pluto goes 3 degrees into a new sign.
Huh.
So go back to Desert Storm, go back to Vietnam, go back to World War II, all of them 3 degrees into a new sign. Now that happens next year, 2026. Pluto goes 3 degrees into Aquarius.
Hmm.
And so the only thing encouraging that I'm hearing out there is that we really can't go to war because if we do, we literally light the match to burn
Yeah.
everything down.
I can't see another war without a world war. I just don't know how it would be possible.
It isn't.
Hmm.
And this is the time we're supposed to change this. But unfortunately, think about when America got its independence from England. Okay. Now it made it where the redcoats weren't showing up on the shore every day,
Hmm.
but where we lost the war was financially and the goods coming from England
Hmm.
and the money America's been paying back to England for 248 years.
Huh.
Okay, so we won our independence to live here and not them come over and put their government and control us here. But financially, we did not win the war. Okay, because we had no leverage.
Hmm.
We were a new beginning company. We had not company, but country. We had a lot of potential. And America grew that over the years. And I'm going to show you, I'll pull up the chart in a moment, all the qualities that America has. And they are some great qualities. Okay, I have to say. Um, You have to remind me where we are because I lost it.
No, that really resonates with me. I did a card reading on the US, the founding of the US a couple of weeks ago. And I pulled this card, and it was like divine feminine. It showed this beautiful woman face forward, but if you looked really close, there's all these corrupt structures on the inside of her.
Mm,
So it was built on this illusion of freedom and patriotism and courage, but underneath was still the structures from the West,
right.
because they wanted to keep those in place to get our power and our money. So that really resonates with me and validates what I was seeing in that reading.
Yeah, imagine that up until 2024 would have been historically where the Revolutionary War was fought.
Mm.
And Pluto was in the sign of Capricorn. And in 2008, it went into Capricorn and it came out of it in 2024. Now,
Huh.
have we not seen the corporations seek to take over every part of our lives
Oh, absolutely. They're the most powerful people in the world. You
and
assume they're running the governments and all the other decisions.
or influencing them through
For sure.
lobbyists and all of those things, right? You know, Pluto and Capricorn, like in 2005, all the astrologers, there were all these articles coming out. You will watch the corporate takeover of the whole planet. Okay. And they were not kidding.
Right.
And I remember my teacher, my astrology teacher said that you will live a different life until the end of America.
Mm,
And after that, America is going to be more open to things that America has never been open to.
mm.
And that's things they can't control. And
Sounds very
so,
scary for them.
in a way, right. But we all are coming into an age of embodiment that we can't fake it anymore in all of the spiritual circles now. People are exposing their human part in a way which is great because they're uncertain also. And maybe we portrayed that we had all the ideas before, and that's not going to work in the future.
Mm,
We have to really go through it and know the depths of it so we can show up and be present for each other. And so from here until 2044, we will go back to community. And I also think that everybody in America and on the planet should demand that all of the hidden technologies
mm,
that would literally heal homelessness, it would heal housing problems and electricity problems needs to come out
hmm.
because no one else is going to change it. If we let the corporations keep telling us that they don't have this, they paid so it wouldn't come out.
Right.
Okay. So, if they can suppress the things that will heal the world and tell us that they can't fix those problems, okay? They've had plenty of time to create avenues to fix those problems. There are no plans to fix the problems.
Right.
The only plans is to control the populace.
Yeah. There's no benefit to them to fix these problems. None.
None. But that's where community and our culture doesn't have community, nor the world have community at this moment because community can only come from what we share with one another, not what we
Mm,
give or think we should take because we did not receive.
mm.